about to tell you something that has the potential to change your life forever. Welcome back to the Idea Supply Chain, where we take a look at where ideas come from and what makes those ideas valuable. In today's episode, I want to talk about crypto. Wait. I promise I'm not going to shill a coin or anything like that, but I want to get into the ideas behind crypto and how that relates to attention, because this is something that popped into my feed. I'm on Twitter, I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden I start seeing things everywhere about Nat Eliason's new book, Crypto Confidential. Except I'm not seeing it all over the place from people I don't know about. I'm seeing it from people that I know, like, and trust at this point. Listening to a podcast, Creator Science by Jay Klaus. I talk about that fairly regularly because it's one of those that I listen to every single week without fail. Comes out on Tuesdays. I listen to it Tuesday mornings. This Tuesday morning, he's talking to Nat Eliason because it's release day for Crypto Confidential. I see the coach that I've started working with, Corey Wilkes, talking about attending the launch party for the book, really enjoying the book and the party. And Nat, not to mention that, also threw a shout out that he's a great guy, just a good all-around person. I see Paul Millard, author of The Pathless Path, somebody else I followed, as somebody else who is living a non-conventional path and trying to make their own way in the world. I respect that a lot. He's showing text that he sent Nat about the fact that he couldn't put it down, had to read it all in one sitting. Like, I keep seeing these messages over and over again. And that means a lot to me. Like, I don't typically go out and buy books on the day that they're released, but in this case, I did. And the thing about Nat's story is, for anyone who's not familiar with him at all, he was big into the crypto scene, and he got super into all sorts of NFTs and everything, and made and lost fortunes. More money than I've ever seen in one place, certainly. And he tells the story of that, and apparently gets into a lot of the details behind Bitcoin, blockchain, NFTs, things like that, which I appreciate. I have dabbled in the space. I've lost a little bit of money. But overall, mostly the way I saw it is I didn't like the mechanisms because they all focus on getting as much attention as quickly as possible and liquidating that attention, turning it into some sort of money. And then from there, it's the whole idea of trust is really up in the air. It's not something that you can necessarily calculate. It's such a weird phenomenon because, money is this store of value. What's the value? Well, we try to convert, US dollars into Bitcoin, and then it's all about, the value of Bitcoin versus the value of the US dollar. And so you convert from one to the other. It's this whole thing, and it's all about timing and all of that, which when I started looking at the value of information, that felt really weird to me because that's just not how information actually works. We're making information behave like money when really we should be making money behave like information. Anyway, that goes off on a bit of a tangent to stuff that I'm exploring in a lot of my research, and I've talked about it on previous videos, so if that's something you're interested in, feel free to go check that out. But this really got me thinking about investing attention. Because, I talk about the creators that I follow who are sharing this book and how good it is, how good of a guy Nat is. And that makes me trust Nat. I followed his story a little bit, but not nearly as close as I followed these other creators who were talking about his story. So now I'm invested in his story. I want to learn more. I want to see how it felt to be kind of in the moment in crypto. But then one of the things I've been thinking about lately is chatbots for creators. because I think there's this really powerful communication mechanism and, information gathering. It creates this much deeper connection than you get when you're like, you don't get when you're on YouTube or a podcast or anything like that. We've really separated out the creator and the audience, and we've separated out the monetization piece quite a bit as well. So one of the things I was thinking about is, how can we take a similar idea to crypto where we're monetizing attention, but instead of trying to monetize it and liquidate it immediately, what if we allow people to invest attention? How can you figure out what attention is invested? And actually, I think there's a really great proxy for that, and it's questions. Because questions signify that you've paid some attention and there's something else that you want to know. It's signifying an intent to spend more attention. Because if you're asking a question, you're somewhat invested in the answer. Let me say that again. When you ask a question, it's a signifier that you've spent some attention and you're interested in spending more attention. How much more attention is probably going to be based on the answer to that question. This is a really powerful mechanism for creators, because if you understand what somebody is asking and you understand how to answer that in a way that will build trust and result in future interactions, you've kept that relationship going. This is the idea of an abundant system in a nutshell. I will build trust over time. I will take the attention you've given me and I will value it, and I'm going to try to give you back something of greater value, an answer. If I can answer your question in a more complete way than the internet would, or in a faster way, as opposed to having to go search for everything for the answer, wade through the bullshit results on Google, figure out which parts of the ChatGPT response are hallucinating, figure out what people on social haven't been paid to just shill a product or whatever. Then all of a sudden, you've given me time back. You've saved me so much time in not having to wade through the bullshit. As a consumer of information, that is high value stuff. And this is what I'm thinking when I'm talking about like chatbots for creators. It's a simple concept, but an extremely powerful mechanism to help you build a stronger, trusted relationship with individual people in your audience. This is actually really important for someone like me, because the stuff I'm sharing, I'm not sharing because I think you're interested in it. I'm sharing it because I feel it's valuable information to share. I'm sharing the things I'm currently working on and the ideas I'm currently tracking down and focusing in on and the questions I'm asking because I believe it's valuable, or I wouldn't spend time doing it. But I'm trying to document it and share it with you in case it's valuable for you. I expect a lot of what I do will be more valuable in the future once I figure out the bits that actually work with everything. But I don't know which one of those things it's going to be until I get there. And so until then, I'm just sharing everything I can via writing, via YouTube videos, what have you. That's the part of the puzzle that I think gets missed. But it says create for your audience, make it for them. Or if you think back to the Rick Rubin quote that I shared a couple weeks ago, not about the audience. The audience has no idea what they want. In this case, I'm sharing what I'm doing because I believe I'm at the cutting edge of a lot of these ideas. I want to share those with you. I've been working to get better at communicating the patterns I'm seeing, the ideas, the systems, the mechanisms, all of it, right? I want to share that with you because I think it's super valuable to focus on, which is why I'm focusing on it. If I didn't think it was valuable, I wouldn't be focusing on it. And I'm struggling a little bit because I need to figure out how to sell some of these ideas. Because turns out food costs money. Who knew? Gotta pay things like rent. It's bullshit, but it is what it is, right? You know? Um, and so how can we create different systems that allow people to invest attention? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. One of the things I realized is as I'm doing this, I'm talking about how valuable chatbots are for creators, and I could take all your content and make a chatbot for it. Where the hell's my chatbot? I haven't done it for myself because I haven't viewed my information as valuable. Which that's not exactly true. I feel it's not necessarily as valuable right now, and I might have to do some finagling to be able to process all the content and whatnot. But I think it's time to build out a chatbot. It doesn't actually have to be everything. I can do some very simple things with the chatbot. And this is, I think, getting into what I was thinking about with the lab alongside engineering generosity, because I've been playing around with like dynamic response types in chat. So if you ask a question about something that I talk about, instead of just being a basic chat feature, it can actually display a dynamic tool to the right. Oh, hey, you were talking about a tool that converts YouTube videos to blog posts. Boom, I can populate that tool in the other half of the screen. It's a pretty cool feature. I'm excited to show some of that off because I think that is a powerful mechanism. And again, like I'm talking about trying to sell this to creators because I see so many possibilities here. So why am I not doing it for myself? Well, I'm going to, because the fact of the matter is, I think that it is a great mechanism. And so I got to figure out some more details around it. But I am exploring those, and I'll be launching something soon because I don't like wasting time. I like just putting stuff out there and seeing what happens. But I really do think there is something incredibly valuable in figuring out how to reward people who are investing attention in your content. And what you want to do is you want to figure out who's put some attention in, who's interested in putting more attention in, and focusing on those people. Because guess what? They're invested. They're invested in your content. They're invested in you. That investment leads to trust as long as you're rewarding it appropriately. I want to have AI help you create more trustworthy interactions with the audience that's invested in you. Feels like a worthwhile thing to do. Anyway, I'm really excited to dig into Crypto Confidential. Had to order it. Comes tomorrow, or today, actually, when you're watching it. So it's entirely possible that you won't see me again for another day or so because apparently once you start reading it, you can't put it down. And I have that problem with books sometimes. But excited to dig into it and see what it's all about because, again, the people that I put a lot of trust in can't stop talking about it. Well executed launch strategy, Nat. Commend you for it. You've captured my attention. I am invested. I'm spending more attention because I need to hear the details of the story more. I've heard bits and pieces. I've heard about your process. So I'm excited to dig into the dark underworld of the crypto movement. It was during a time when I had nothing to risk, so I really didn't lose all that much. But yeah, excited to hear the gory details of what went on in the midst of it. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope that's interesting. I think it will change your life if you really take that to heart, because it really is about the attention that you're investing in creators, in content, in ideas. That's what's going to give you the lucrative future that you're hoping for. Or not even necessarily lucrative. I don't know what your future is that you're hoping for. But whatever it is, where you're investing your time and attention right now, that's going to get you to a future. Think really carefully about where you're investing that time. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.